Hi everybody, welcome to a little review for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Spock Amok. Today I'm joined by Brad. We're going to be pulling this one apart, seeing what is going on inside the warp core. But before we do, don't forget to pop over to the Script Department website, scriptdepartment.net. Have a look and see what we're doing over there. You can check out previous reviews of this one, of Strange New Worlds, on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, various things. They're all over the place, so go check them out. And you can also buy us a coffee now, so you can have a look in the description below and see if you're interested in buying some coffee. We like coffee, don't we, Brad?
I'd like a coffee, yeah. I would like a coffee.
I'd like a coffee now. I can go and macchiato.
Can you buy me one?
I can buy you one.
Yeah,
No,
buy me
I
a
don't
coffee.
buy you one.
Okay. Maybe we'll just hope someone else buys us a coffee.
Oh yeah, hopefully someone else, because we're parched, aren't we? We're thirsty,
Yeah.
parched.
It's hot in these little rooms. We're both in the roofs of our houses, and it's really warm in here.
It's really warm in here at the moment. It really is. Oh no, we need some Star Trek level atmospheric control is what we need for this kind of thing. But yeah, episode 5, Strange New Worlds. Man, what a departure from the previous episode. We had the episode before was all hiding in brown dwarfs and scurrying around doing Wrath of Khan stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And then we hit Spock Amok, and it is that very much. What did you think?
This was a fun one, wasn't it? It wasn't dark. There was some depth in it, some emotional depths, which were quite interesting, but it was very original series. Like, there was some really comical things that happened in this episode. But the whole opening, the Spock Amok. It's it's the episode of the original series Amok Time where he fights Kirk in that one. And it even had the same music hooks in it and everything. And there's often, not now I'm in my 40s, but there's often I'd be like tumbling around with friends, like yelling that music, like da, 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 da. And it's like, wow, this is great. I like what they did with it, and I like that they did the there was something they did about the human Spock being more like Kirk. He got the slice in the same place.
Yeah.
And we've never seen a human Spock. It's the first time we've seen a human Spock. He's half human, but I liked that they wrapped it around this inner struggle of him wrestling with his human side, and that was the whole issue with him. He's wrestling between his Vulcan relationship and his job in human Starfleet. Like the whole thing is about that, which is. It becomes hilarious, but it's just because it's focused on that internal struggle of what was, as we know from season 2 of Discovery, like the awful time he had, like growing up, and from the Kelvin timeline, we saw a bit of it there as well.
Yeah.
Your human eyes, they look sad, and it's just I like that they wrap this comedic thing around something we know means something to this character.
Yeah.
What did you make of it?
Around pretty intense childhood trauma. And being shunned by the society you want to belong to. Yeah, that whole haha, hilarious.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. The opening of this is very intense and very tonally different to where this ends up going. And there's the performances between when they body swap, when they Freaky Friday, the performances and the way they kind of embody each other. Just so great. There's that moment where they're sat there, it's just happened, and Pike's at the door, and Spock is saying to Spock's body, explaining, "Oh no, you should answer the door," and he just looks at her and goes, "I know how to use a door." It's so great.
But it's the stance and because the syntax they've really have copied, even though they're both very monosyllabic characters. And they speak with the same patter, they've still copied each other's syntax. And you can go, oh yeah, they are talking a little bit differently. And obviously their body language was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, standing there like this. It's just so good. But it was, yeah. I think just even saying all these things now, it's dawning on me how much of a departure it was from the previous Deep Space Battle episode.
But I think that's the joy of this is what I wanted from this series, and it is so far just delivering in spades. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to spend time in this world with this original crew of the USS Enterprise. You know, to hang out with them and to have this, you know, that whole thing, that whole situation. It reminded me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Holt. And the character of the police captain Holt in that,
yes,
like, just
yes,
totally
yes,
stoic and everything, and they reveal themselves to Pike, and he says, "Now we have told you, you must be able to completely tell us apart." And he looks at them, and it's like, yeah, totally. And Anson Mount is so great in this as well, because he walks that line between sincerity and kind of just, this is ridiculous, in so well, that the little twinkle in his eyes as he's looking at them very fondly as his friends, but also, you two are stupid. Like, this is, how have you got yourself into this situation?
I mean, I really love how he's got a touch of a space cowboy about him. Like, there is just, and they did that again in to mention the Kelvin timeline again. Like, in that, Pike had got like the drawl. And, you know, I like that. I like the fact that he shoots from the hip, and they will never write him to be better than Kirk, but it's like they're writing a different version of Kirk, who is just as ballsy, but he's got like a different. I don't know. Is there a working class ethic about him somewhere? Like, he's cooking barbecue in his quarters, and he's riding horses, and in a very different way that Kirk rides horses. Like, this is Champion. Welcome, this is my horse Champion. And it's, you know, there's a very different way that they hold themselves. All they're very similar. I like that he's a bit, I don't know, more rough around the edges, I guess.
Yeah, I think Pike's a bit more grounded, isn't he? He just sort of he is this sort of he is the space cowboy. But I think Kirk is, there's almost something in Kirk knows he's going to win every time. Kirk's kind of, there's an arrogance to Kirk, which is fun to watch, but it's arrogance. Whereas I think Pike is confident. I think that's the big difference between them in their command styles and everything like that. And, you know, so to break this down, you've kind of got three threads going on here. You've got Spock and I'm forgetting his fiance's name. I'm terrible with character names. I really should have a sheet up in front of me. But anyway, Spock and his fiance and their Freaky Friday nonsense, or shenanigans, or no, what do they call it? Hijinks.
Yes, the hijinks. Yeah,
hijinks. They've got their hijinks going on, and then we also have Una and Lahan trying to prove their fun, which is just a delight. What a treat! Enterprise Bingo is such a fantastic invention by those writers.
It is great.
Yeah, that whole section is just so much fun. You know, the way they, and I think it's nice to see a little bit of something from Lahan Noonien Singh beyond, you know, I am very serious and troubled and I have a traumatic past. It's nice to see her just on an off moment.
And,
and to see her just interacting with a friend. I think that's something that I miss from Next Generation. I miss from original series era TV in that sense, because, you know, you don't get those moments in Discovery. You don't get those moments in Picard. You don't get Picard just, you know, that's a bad example actually. You kind of do get Picard just sitting there, but you don't get him just going about his business. You certainly don't get it in Discovery, because there's always this big threat. And I promise this isn't going to turn into another episode where I just lambast Discovery, but but I think it's so refreshing to have a character who is so tightly wound, to give her a moment where she gets to go and sign the Scorch, which is again another.
It's great. I mean, it's just how they've like taken the edge off of the character, and it's to do. They're just two massive space nerds. Although they're both nails. They're both massive space nerds. They follow the rules and they do what they're told, and then all of a sudden they're like, let's not follow the rules, and it's great. Like it's a path well trodden. We've seen this story a million times, but it works so well with these characters. They've done a good job of like building them up and talking about Enterprise Bingo in the first couple of episodes, and then you're like, oh, this is what it is. Oh, great, I like this.
It's really neat, isn't it? It's really neat. And then we get Nurse Chapel, and her shore leave, and my favorite moment, I think, of this series so far, has to go to Dr. Mbenga's fly fishing hat. It's adorable. That
it's
moment,
special, isn't it?
It's so special. And when for no reason as well, there is no plot reason for this at all, but they just cut to him turning around slowly with his little hat on, smiling, and then just off he goes, and he goes fishing.
Yeah.
We don't go back to him. We don't see him again. It's
He's
just
happy.
that one little bit. He's just having a
Benga is happy.
It's so sweet. But yeah, so Nurse Chapel's love life is it's something I didn't think I'd be interested in, but now I'm absolutely interested in. Again, small moments there. It was quite nice, I thought.
I did, yeah. The Nurse Chapel bit, I don't know. It feels, again, and I've spoke about this a couple of times in this. It feels like it might have been purpose, but they sort of overly feminized her. That she's struggling to tell a man how she feels, and I don't know. It felt a bit. I don't know. Something fell a bit flat for me there. I thought they could have been a bit more intelligent with that relationship. It was just I'm just going to hook up with this guy I've hooked up before. Like they could have had something more in there. And the fact that it's Nurse Chapel, I forget the actress' name actually. And she was on Australia's Top Model, and of course it's her that they're doing the romantic story about, and it felt almost too Route One. It's a funny episode, so of course they're going to do some Route One stuff, but for me that felt a bit like, and they're still building on this thing with Spock, and yeah, I think they're trying to suggest that she's the one that is going to split them up eventually, because we know that doesn't carry on from the original series. He doesn't have a wife in that.
Presumably, yeah. And
we know that we know that's doomed, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know. Are they trying to suggest it's her that this happens because of? But I don't know. I felt that was for me that was the weak link in this episode.
I get that. I get that. I am inclined to agree with you. I think it was I am interested to know where that goes. The Spock, and because their chemistry is just jumping off the screen. I don't understand how Ethan Peck manages to be so emotive in a performance where he is not able to emote. It's there's so much there, and there's that sequence where Chapel and Spock sat at the table, and she gives him the titular advice that kind of drives so much of this episode. And it's that lovely moment where he looks at her, and he kind of he's teasing her, and he says, humans are almost as easy to tease as Vulcans, and I felt like I swooned a little bit, because that was like it was a great kind of it was, I don't know, there was something very something very nice about that. So I get what they're building to, and I think it works. I do agree with you though. Outside of that story was didn't really go anywhere.
I quite like that Spock in his female skin smacked the guy who she was supposed to be negotiating with to come back to Vulcan for rehabilitation. He just smacked him. Like, would he have done that if he was Spock? I don't know. Is that out of character for Spock? Wouldn't he have?
I don't see.
Haymaker. It just gives him a haymaker in the face. Yeah. Like there's no.
It's an interesting question though, because we are dealing with a far more human Spock than we've had before, I think, and I guess which is in line with the version of Spock we see in the cage, in the chase, that original unreleased pilot where all this comes from. It's you see that he grins, he smiles at Pike when he's looking at the kind of the singing flowers and things like that. But then by the time we get to the Next Generation, there are sorry, my apologies, the original series. There are moments of where the eyes twinkle a little bit in Nimoy's performance, but he is a lot more together, and then he kind of grows to be more human through the course of the films and things like that. So I wonder if maybe what they're going for here is he has this human side, perhaps the loss of his. If I were a writer and I was looking at this situation, then I would say, well, you've got a little love triangle forming there. Spock is concerned about his human side. His fiancée is concerned about his human side. What if they ultimately end up splitting up over this fear, which drives Spock away from Chapel and into a more Vulcan, a more kind of purged emotion state, which creates that kind of separation and that heartache then between them, because in fact he decides to choose the Vulcan path yet again rather than embracing his human side. I wonder if that's where we're going. That would be my prediction, I suppose. Which I'd be very into. I think it'd be a really interesting exploration of that character. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good call. I think you can see the strings being pulled in that sort of direction. But I guess we're only 4 episodes in. They are almost building characters afresh in a way. Even if we do know a lot about them, they're building them again for us. Some of them in the same way, some of them in a different way. So it's we're still only 4 eps in, and or 5 eps in, and we're still learning who they are again.
Yeah, it's so true. I very much enjoyed the aliens at the negotiation table. The idea of radical empathy again. Pike shooting from the hip. Coming in to save not Spock in that situation. That was a very, very interesting idea, and again, very, very original series of them. What an interesting alien interpretation.
Yeah, I liked that, and I liked at the end how he basically tells them he wouldn't do it because he's then aligning with their own sort of empathic outlook, I guess you could say it is, and they thank him. They look him in the eye and say thank you, and then leave and chuck that flag up. It's like, oh right, he did it. Well done, well done, Captain. And you've got the Admiral going like, oh you idiot. Then oh no, it's okay. Well done, good work, Pike.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. I read somewhere the other day because obviously I think it's just finished in the States. This is now done over there. I'm watching it as it comes out in the UK, so this is as far as I've got so far. I don't know where it's going. I've miraculously avoided spoilers. I don't know how, but it's worked. But I did see the start of an article after that last episode came out saying I'm homesick for Star Trek: Strange New Worlds already. And I get it. I already understand. I've got 6 episodes to go. I'm so excited that we have 6 episodes left of this thing.
Yeah.
But I understand. I already understand why somebody might be homesick for it, because it does feel the warm embrace of the Enterprise is quite captivating. I think in this series, and I don't know. I just smile a lot while I'm watching it. I think it's great.
Yeah, there's an honesty to everything in it. The theme, the story arcs, the tone of it. Like it feels like a Roddenberry message about what humanity could be post now. And there is a hope in that, like a real hope, and it feels like the writers believe in that hope. I think when it's saccharine and squashed in there, you can tell that they're just like, oh, let's sprinkle a bit of Discovery. Hope on it. It's fine. Discovery. Exactly. There's too much grinning and fist pumping, but yeah, the I think there is a genuine want from the writers to put hope in this show, and you can feel it. You can feel it when you see them.
Yeah, I totally agree, Brad. It's a perfect place to end that there. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Episode 5, Spock Amok, currently Paramount Plus and whatnot. Go watch it. Go watch our previous reviews of these. We're going to keep going as they come out. As they come out in the UK, I should say, we will continue to boldly go where all of YouTube has already gone. Nice one. Thanks, Brad. Much appreciated.
Cheers.
And to everybody else, we will catch you next time for some more Star Trek based fun. I believe the screenwriters rewatch this particular week is Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. It has either come out or will be coming out very, very soon. I'm not quite sure of the order, so check that one out as well. That's Brad and I having a conversation about that. I think Brad liked that one, and
I think on it I may have mentioned that I like it a little bit. I think I did anyway, but you'll see. Tune in, have a look.
Maybe 3 times. I don't know, something like that. Who knows? Thanks, man, and we will catch you another time for more Star Trek stuff. So take care. See you later, everybody. Bye bye.